If you're a new World of Warcraft player, you may have heard of transmog before but aren't sure how to get started with it. In this video, I'm going to cover everything you need to know to get started, including what it is, how and where to collect pieces for your collection, and more. Transmog, short for transmogrification, is a feature in WoW that lets you alter the appearance of your armor. It means you can style your character with various gear pieces you collect in-game while retaining the stats of your equipped armor. Here's a fun fact. The term transmogrify means to transform in a surprising or magical manner. You might hear it referred to in-game as transmog, tmog, mog, or mogging. The feature was introduced in the Cataclysm expansion in 2011, and it has since become a popular aspect of the game, allowing players to collect appearances from quests, dungeons, raids, PvP, and more. Collecting transmog can be a fun activity, often best done with a max level or at least high level character to easily solo old content such as dungeons or raids. However, lower level players can still collect items through world drops, quest rewards, and vendor purchases. Now that you have a general idea of what transmog is, let's take a look at some in-game menus to help you understand better. If you open up the collections menu and head to the appearances tab, you are able to browse item by slot such as head, shoulders, cloak, chest, legs, and so forth. If you mouse over an item you haven't collected yet, it will tell you where the item comes from, such as the raid and the boss that drops it. But if it says something vague like vendor or world drop, the best thing to do is to just Google the name of the item and check the website WoWhead. There is also this set tab where you can browse full matching gear sets that come from PvE or PvP. But remember, you're able to mix and match any pieces together, so feel free to be creative. You can search an item if you know the name, or filter it by collected, not collected, or by the source you find the item. You can easily try on these pieces of gear by control left clicking, and it will pull up the dressing room window. In the dressing room window, you can create, name, and save outfits. This feature is excellent for planning transmogs you want to collect. Once you have all the pieces of a saved outfit, you can easily switch to it at any transmogrifier NPC. Transmogrifier NPCs can be found in multiple cities. Most popularly are Stormwind for the Alliance and Orgrimmar for the Horde, but there is an even more convenient way to transmog on the go from anywhere at any time with the Grand Expedition Yak, or more commonly known as the Transmog Mount. It has a transmogrifier NPC right on it, and you can get this mount from Coonlight Summit, but it does cost some gold. If you're a new player, it might take you some time to make up that gold, but luckily you can use somebody else's mount if you see them around anywhere, but be careful because they might run away or log out on you in the middle of making your transmog. Now I'll show you what it's like to actually use the transmogrifier and apply your transmog. You can start by clicking on any item slot such as your head and trying on pieces, then move on to another slot and repeat the process until you are happy with your appearance. You can save it as an outfit if you want to. There's also a few other things you can do, such as hiding pieces of gear. You're also able to transmog your shoulders separately by ticking this box, and another shoulder menu will open up. You can even add enchants to certain weapons, which will give it a certain glow, maybe a fire or icy or shadowy glow, but you need to collect these enchants in-game as well. And finally, you can also right-click on an item slot and it will revert it back to the original piece of gear you actually have equipped. Once you're happy with your transmog, just click apply and it will take the gold fee. So you might be wondering how to actually begin your journey of collecting transmog pieces. Start by identifying some gear you're interested in. This can be something you found while browsing the collections menu or something you've seen other players wear. Speaking of which, you can click on any player you see and right-click their portrait, go to inspect, and try on their transmog in the dressing room. Then you can see the name of the pieces they are wearing and find them for yourself if you'd like. Personally, when I got started collecting transmogs, I would write down some names of dungeons and raids that drop the gear I want and start by running those. It's also important to remember that collecting transmog is a gradual process. You might have to run the same dungeon or raid multiple times to get the piece you want due to random drop rates. You can find out the drop rate of an item by searching it on WoWhead. Keep in mind that some dungeons or raids you want to run might be too high level to solo. For example, current Dragonflight content will require a group, and the previous expansion Shadowlands will still be pretty difficult too. You'll have the easiest time running stuff from several years back from older expansions, so that's a great place to start. You can browse the adventure guide menu, and in the dungeons and raid tab, it has it sorted from oldest to newest expansion content, and this is another way to browse what items bosses drop. So now it's time to head to the dungeons or raids. If you're unsure about the location or entrance of the instance, a quick Google or YouTube search can be incredibly helpful. Head to the entrance of the dungeon or raid. Remember you're visiting older content, so it's generally pretty easy and can be done solo. You can also change the difficulty of the dungeon or raid by right-clicking your portrait, and you'll definitely want to make sure to check what difficulty the gear you want drops from. Certain pieces are from normal, heroic, mythic, etc. And an important note, you can only run a specific raid once per week and the bosses will reset on Tuesday. You can run dungeons as many times as you want though, just run out and reset by right-clicking your portrait. As you defeat bosses, you'll collect various gear pieces, and when a transmog piece drops, you'll get a notification in your chat window. Once you see this notification, that means you're safe to sell the item, so feel free to empty your bags after you finish your run. Although technically, even if your bags are full during a dungeon or raid run for transmog, if you don't loot the items, the postmaster will actually just mail them all to your characters. So oftentimes when I'm doing runs, my bags will be full and I'll just have a ton of stuff to pick up afterwards. Currently, you can only collect gear on characters able to equip the item. For example, only cloth wearers can collect cloth gear, but Blizzard recently announced that when the new expansion, The War Within, comes out, players will be able to learn transmog of any gear type, even if you cannot equip it. So yes, that means you'll be able to unlock plate gear on a mage. In the meantime though, if you want to grow your transmog collection across multiple types of characters with different gear types, you'll have to farm them individually. So definitely expect it to take some time to build out your collection, but I wish you all the luck in your transmog adventures. And now there's just a few more things I want to mention as final tips. You can browse the auction house for transmog items and even sell some that you don't want as long as they're bind on equip. And also, if a bind on equip item drops on one character who can't wear it, you can mail it to another one of your characters. For example, if you're on your mage and a piece of plate armor drops, you can mail it to your warrior so they can learn the appearance. You can also buy some items from vendors, some for gold and others for PvP currency. My husband and I actually made a video a few years back about where to find vendors that sell gear. You can check it out on our other channel, and it's a great way to quickly bulk up your collection. And definitely make sure to check out the vendors on different characters because they will have different stuff available depending on your class. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any more specific questions, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll do my best to get back to you. I also sometimes host events on my Twitch where I run some raids for transmog and you're invited to come. So join my Discord server so you can make sure you don't miss out. I'll have it linked down below in the description. Also, feel free to suggest any other beginner's guide type videos for World of Warcraft and I will definitely consider doing them. I hope you all have a lovely day, happy transmogging, and I'll see you next time. Bye!